All right, good morning. Your kids will be back, so if one of them is yours, they'll be back in a little bit. Today's a very special day. We are ordaining some people as leaders of the church, as elders. So actually, that's why I'm wearing a suit. I know you guys don't see me in a suit very much, and I actually got a lot of comments like, "Who are you?" Right? Smarty pants. Right? You know what? Actually, as kids are exiting, I'll just kind of chit chat, but one of the scariest things about wearing a suit is waking up in the morning that, you don't wear a suit very often, and you wake up in the morning and go, I wonder if the suit's gonna fit. I'm not worried about the top, but I'm like, and I was like, suck it in. All right, so we're okay for now. So good morning, it's good to see everybody. Like I said, it's a very special day. We have elder ordination, and we're really happy that, God is continuing to raise leaders from amongst us, and that people are stepping up and taking leadership. So that is awesome, and I just love our church because it's so full of life, and we see it with the children, right? It's literally full of life. Like they're just running around, and that's one of the greatest things about this ministry. And Sharon, I love it. She said, "Don't get distracted by stuff," right? And go, "Don't get distracted by all this video games and and then one kid yells out, "And homework." Don't get distracted by homework. Don't do it. I love that. Hey, we are on this series, Life is a Team Sport, talking about all the different people that we need in our life in order to experience the fullness and the blessing of life that God has for us, right? And we do need a variety of people to walk alongside us. And today, I want to talk to you about a VIP. And what comes to your mind when you think VIP? Well, I Googled it. And I said, who are the important people in our time? And these are the ones that kind of popped up. And they are, and you can guess who they are, what category they fell under. One of the most financially powerful people, right? Two powerful people in politics. One of the most influential people. Can you guess who that is? Oprah fell under many of them. All right. One of the most admired people. I didn't realize that Taylor Swift was that, popular, right? And she came under one of the most admired people. One of the biggest tech giants, right? And these are all celebrities in our life. And a lot of times we get lost in thinking that they are also the VIPs of our life. But I actually think that the VIPs, the most, very important people that we need in our life are not celebrities, but someone who believes in you. Someone who supports your mission. And you go, it's church, so we throw words around like mission and stuff, but I really believe that all of us sitting here have a divine purpose, a God-given purpose. And that's what I'm talking about. That we need people in our life that are willing to come alongside us and support in doing what God has intended for us to do. We need these people in our life. Not someone you find on the internet or TV like those characters, but someone who is in your life and who is willing to be a part of your life. We need people like that. It's these people that breathe life into us, that when we are around them, that we feel encouraged, that when we are around them, that we begin to understand a little bit more about what God has called us to be and what God is calling us to do. And we get excited. When's the last time that you have felt that spiritual excitement in your life? Like, dang it, I'm supposed to be doing something. Or I should be like this kind of person. All of us have that calling. And we have been looking at all of these characters in the Bible to see who are these people that we need to have in our life, and also who are these people that we need to be like. And today, we're going to look at a character from the book of Acts. She's hardly mentioned, just And most of us, I think we kind of skip over it, but we're going to look at it today. It's from the book of Acts chapter 16. Listen for the word of the Lord. And this is, the writer of Acts speaking. We set sail from Troas and took a straight course to Samothrace, and the following day to Neapolis, and from there to Philippi, which is a leading city of the district of Macedonia and a Roman colony. We remained in this city for some days. On the Sabbath day, we went outside the gate by the river, where we supposed there was a place of prayer. And we sat down and spoke to the women who had gathered there. And a certain woman named Lydia, a worshiper of God, was listening to us. She was from the city of Thyatira, and a dealer in purple cloth. The Lord opened her heart to listen eagerly to what was said by Paul. When she and her household were baptized, she urged us, saying, "If you have judged me to be faithful to the Lord, come and stay at my home." And she prevailed upon us. The word of the Lord. Just a short little story of an encounter of Paul and Silas with a woman named Lydia. And we don't know that much about Lydia at all. And actually, historians don't know that much except for what we see right here. She was from the city of Thyatira, and she was a businesswoman who sold purple cloth. She was probably pretty wealthy. She had a house and some servants. Her whole household, once she actually understood the word and was blessed by Paul and Silas, she and her whole household were baptized. We know that from her actions that she was probably a pretty generous woman who showed hospitality to Paul and Silas. And they stayed in Philippi for a while. She was, Lydia, someone that they could trust and depend on. And we need people like that in our life. During Paul and Silas's time in Philippi, right after this encounter with Lydia, Paul and Silas exorcise a possessed girl, and the owners get upset because they can't make any more money off of her, showing her off and kind of parading her around the public. So the owner takes Paul and Silas to court. Paul and Silas are beaten, flogged, thrown in prison, and when they finally get out of prison, what do? They're like, literally they're beaten, they're bleeding, and what do? They go back to Lydia's house. So Lydia has a very special place in Paul and Silas's life. When we read Paul's other letters, especially the one to the church in Philippi, we know it as the book of Philippians, we see that Paul has a deep love for the church in Philippi. Probably because more than anything, of what they experienced and received from Lydia. Lydia's support and encouragement. And the church in Philippi, Lydia's community, is actually one of the only churches and communities that Paul is willing to receive encouragement and support from. And we see that in Paul's writings. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the book of Philippians. When Paul, you can just see it in his writing. When he writes to Lydia's community in Philippi, he has such love and encouragement in his heart. Even the way that it starts, I'm sure can you guys see that? You need like readers, or you got to get up close to read that. But listen to how Paul writes to the church in Philippi. He goes, "I thank my God every time I remember you, constantly praying with joy in every one of my prayers for all of you." Right? Doesn't that sound like a lot of affection that Paul has for Lydia and the church in Philippi? And he goes on and says, "I am confident of this, that the one who began the good work among you will bring it to completion by the day of Jesus Christ. it is right for me to think this way about all of you, because you hold me in your heart. For all of you share in God's grace with me, both in my imprisonment and in the defense and the confirmation of the gospel. So Paul said, we've had so much experience together. You've seen me in jail literally when I was with you in Philippi. You saw how they beat me, how I was imprisoned, and now Paul is in prison in Rome. And he goes, so you know my experience, and I know you have compassion for me. So Paul writes with this mutual affection for Lydia and the church in Philippi. I love the book of Philippians. If you get a chance and you need something to read in the Bible, try reading that. And we see Paul's heart for the believers. We need VIPs in our life. Someone who believes in you. Someone who supports your mission, just the way Lydia supported Paul's mission. There's a movie, I don't know if you've seen it, called Unbroken. It's about Louis Zamperini, a runner who goes to the 1936 Olympics in Berlin. He fights in World War II. After his plane crashes in the Pacific Ocean, he survives for 47 days floating in the ocean. Then he gets rescued by the Japanese, so then he gets thrown into a camp, and he survives the POW camp and is finally released. When you watch this movie or read this book, it's easy to think that his strength started when he was an Olympian, or when he became a soldier, or even possibly when he was a prisoner of war. But I think his strength and his conviction was built up by someone who was right next to him when he was a child. Someone who supported him, someone who encouraged him, even when he didn't believe in himself, somebody who said, I believe in you, his brother. As a child, Louis got into a lot of trouble. He was stealing stuff, he was stealing cigarettes and smoking, drinking, and he was just going down this weird road of life. And I want to share a clip with you where now Louis and his brother are having this discussion about Louis's life.
This is so dumb.
Since when were you so smart? Come on, faster.
Why? No one's chasing me.
I'm chasing you.
Can't do this, Pete. I'm not like you. I'm nothing. Just let me be nothing.
What are you talking about?
I can't make a track team. I didn't even know why you
Yes,
want
you
me to.
can. If you could take it, you can make it.
What?
If you can take it, you can make it. All right, you train, you fight way harder than those other guys, and you win. You get out from under them. Or you keep going the way you're going and you end up as a bum in the streets. You could do this, Lou. Just gotta believe you can.
I don't believe.
I do. Come on. Andiamo. Forza! Va bene.
You dumb dago!
Boy, oh boy, can that guy fly. We're calling him the Torrance Tornado.
I love that. I don't know if you noticed how Louis responds to his older brother's encouragement. He says, I'm nothing. Just let me be nothing. You know, I think that's how a lot of people are. We are not good receivers of encouragement. I don't know what it is about our human nature, but a lot of times we're willing to help others, but when it comes to receiving, sometimes we're very hesitant. We look down upon ourselves if we think we have to receive something from someone else. I wonder, as we look at Paul and Silas, I wonder what would have happened if Paul and Silas refused to receive Lydia's support, her encouragement, her hospitality. I think Paul and Silas may not have made it through prison. I think that Paul and Silas, they may not have made it through their missionary journeys if it wasn't for Lydia. We need to receive and to be good receivers of encouragement, of help from others, support, right? We need that. We need to be good receivers because it's actually when we are good receivers that we become better givers to the people around us. And we've got to start that receiving relationship with God, with our Lord. That when we are in need, that we call out to Him and say, Lord, I am in need of this. Please, I'm standing here in need. Please give to me. I love this story. When Louis says, you know, I can't do it, I'm nothing, just let me be nothing. His brother Pete says, what are you talking about? Right? What are you talking about? And Louis says, I can't make a track team. What do you think? I'm just a kid who's stealing and smoking cigarettes and drinking. And his brother says, yes, you can. Yes, you can. If you can take it, you can make it, he says. You can do this, Lou. Right? And he's standing there encouraging him and saying, you just got to believe that you can. I believe in you. And even when Lou is standing there and says, I don't believe, Pete's there reminding him, I believe. I believe. I believe in you. And we need people like that in our life. Paul and Silas, if they didn't meet Lydia, I really doubt whether they would have made it through prison life. I really doubt whether they would have been able to carry on their missionary journeys. I really doubt that as Paul was sitting in a prison in Rome, that if he didn't know that there was a Philippian community that was praying for him, that was sending things to him, that if Lydia wasn't there, that Paul would have been able to sit in that Roman prison and to be able to write all those letters that we have as the New Testament today. I really doubt that if it wasn't for Lydia. And even for me, as I stand here amongst all of you, I got to be honest with you. I look pretty good today, right? Is my suit okay? My pants aren't ripping off my bottom here. They're still fit. You know, I only stand here because of the great people around me who have always been there to support me. Right? Reminding me over, you know, that video just reminds me so much of myself. You know, I was never really good at a lot of stuff, but they just kept encouraging me, whether it was sports, whether it was education, whether it's my relationship with God. You can do it. You know, you can do it. You got to keep going. My mom, my sisters, you know, the people around me. Right? We have to have these people, these VIP, spiritual people around us, right, who are going to support us, encourage us, support us on our mission. And today, as we are about to ordain 3 new people to lead us and to be elders, I want to encourage you guys that you can't do it alone. You really can't. It's only when we are willing to receive the help, the support, the encouragement, the people around us to help us with our ministry and mission, that not only you, but that our church can be something, right? And for all of us, as we've got some young people that came up because whether it's their parents or other people that are getting ordained, that they want to be here for that. As you're figuring out who you are going to have in your life, to think of people who will be there for you spiritually, who won't just stop being there for you when something goes wrong, when you do something wrong, but someone who's going to be there for the long haul, right? Encouraging you, lifting you up, reminding you, right? Walking alongside you. And for all of us, those are the people we need in our life. And many of us, even as grown-ups, we think, I don't know where to find these people. The good news is this: just look around you in this room. That's what the church is about. Church is about being vulnerable in this place, being able to say, hey, right, can I support you? Can you support me? Right? I was at a party yesterday, and I was sitting there with Bo, and we were just kind of laughing, and she was talking with somebody, and they were joking about how there are many articles now on how grown-ups can make friends. How to make friends as grown-ups. And there were like 4 stages, things that you have to do if you want to make a friend as a grown-up. It's very interesting, right? We need people. We got to do anything and everything we can to get good people around us. And if you are one of those people that's looking for a good person, don't look far. Look around you. And I pray and I hope that you will find the encouragement and the strength and the support that you need to do the mission that God has planned for you. Amen.